What, wash you every day or something? They said that's unhealthy, but damn, huh? What was you doing? Don't get in that bag. It's ammo. So do not climb in that bag. I gotta show y'all something. One of the problems that we've had ever since they came here, these motherfuckers like this have always existed. There wasn't no soy, it wasn't no chemical, just nasty and perverse. Our people were not this way at all. I went back as far as the 1920s before I actually saw the first written history of our people being homosexual. Not no farther than 1920. I'm serious. And that was drinking hooch, stuff that we weren't making. What was it based upon? I couldn't tell you the stories behind it. But 1920, nothing before that. I went back to 1970. I went back to 1915. I couldn't find not one story of our people being gay or lesbian nowhere. There's a lot of this going on. Y'all just don't know it. I made myself, what was it, about 15, 16 years ago? I made myself up with some excellent, I was acting glass like a Chinese. I mean, like, it wasn't a lot of work for me. I was bald headed at the time. I got all kind of, the clothing and shoes, everything. I got all boots, all kind of stuff. Like, I could be in a kung fu movie, like, and you would have never knew. You would have thought I was one of them, Pai Mei or something. But this, and a lot of our people, any of y'all see that video of that Negro with the locks dancing for all them babies and them women? Women, you got pale ones too. Liberal, doing all that cosplay. I can't even call it cosplay. All that y'all know the stuff, the dance, man. It's got to come to a stop, and only you and I can stop that, because it's a disease. It's a decrepitness. Any so-called man that wants to be a woman and dress in front of little children and push that in front of them because they sick mammies. No, this government ain't got no say, because it ain't nothing to do with this land, nor with the people. That's like the IRS. You know, y'all paying taxes and the money's going to, it's being redistributed. It ain't going to the betterment of the country. Don't listen to them liars. Trust me when I tell you this. Y'all keep wanting to believe in the lies because you got a bunch of people pushing on the other side because they think they're going to be in the class. Remember I was telling y'all about that zombie movie with the comedian, what's the brother's name? Puerto Rican dude from New York. Oh, what's his name, man? I forgot his name. He played the clown with Michael J. White in Spawn years ago, damn near 20 years ago. John Louis, I can't even get his name out. Louis Gauntlet. John, and I met him numerous times while I lived in New York. John, I got like 4,000 tabs, y'all. I got less than that, but it seems like that. It'll take a minute. Over a minute. I'm serious for them all to load up, and I'm not getting rid of them. Ain't nothing. It's all information. John Louis de Gama, whatever it is, Louise, whatever. I can't. It's still sliding over. Y'all see how long it's going, right? All them tabs opening it up. It's still going. Seriously. John Louis Gama. Yeah, that's him. Hey, what's up, baby girl? Yeah, I can't even pronounce it no more. It's supposed to be Puerto Rican. That's not a big Puerto Rican last name. It's more influenced by, I guess, Italian or something, but it is what it is. Anyway, Spawn, Michael J. White, was the reason why I said, you know what, I'm going to find a place, and I found a place when I was in Florida, and I bought all this makeup, parts A and B, and then when I was in New York, I found another place in Manhattan by this place where I used to go and get models for very cheap, off of Broad, you know what I'm saying? It's down the street, I believe on 7th or whatever, I can't remember the name, way from 46th and Broad, and you walk back past Toys R Us, where Toys R Us used to be at, and you got to go back a little ways. It's kind of far, and then off to the right, far from Times Square, and I used to walk it because I loved walking when I was in New York. You could walk for hours, the best exercise in the world. And it's down this little cellar, but across the street was this makeup place that Hollywood came there to order big things. And I went in, I'm used to seeing the little spirit glue and all the little scars, and you can take the tissue stuff and let me turn this down, make your face up like a mummy. So I did all that, I even did my own stuff. And then I came across this Chinese makeup. And I mean, like, the molds, with the everything you pour, the silicone, the spirit glue, a big thing. And then it tells you need to buy the X Factor and this, that, and the other, and all the palettes and the color tones. I bought it all for like $55. So I guess about 4 or 5 years when I moved from Brooklyn to the Bronx, because I was, I wanted to be closer to school and be closer to Kingsbridge, VA. I didn't like, the one down the first by Sound, the Crazy House. I guess First Street where the VA is. I didn't like that place. That was creepy place, man. And then you had Bellevue Crazy right on the corner, It was I had already went to Apex and everything like that. Did the Krav Maga, started there, but I always did that, continued to do that with certain guys from fire department. And the naked yoga, I stopped that. I did that for like about 8 months. I was the only guy, and then women started hitting on me. I wasn't interested in none of them. You know, it was okay to fart and all that kind of stuff. I was like, man, y'all could tear a room up, and it was like natural. I'm like, well, no. After 6, 7 months, I was done with the naked yoga. So, it was getting in touch with myself and see how I am around a lot of women. I wasn't attracted to none of them. So, and I was well off. It wasn't like it was in the cold air. It was nice and warm in there. Everybody sweating, windows steamed up. They look like mug, but you have to be able to move beyond the indiscrepancies of what's been allowed and permitted to be perverse. I was able to do it. And majority, I'm pale skinned. Majority, I think it was one or two sisters in there, but they act like them. They didn't even know how to be themselves. They've been in, I don't have no problem with everybody getting together, but be who you're supposed to be. We have a different frequency. But now, so a lot of people running around on another frequency that's broken. But anywho, right? So, you see this, and you see the people out there doing that drag crap. It's bigger than what you think. It's horrendous, but the children, the government, it's sickening. And you would think that the government would step in and say, hence that's the separation of God and country. That's separation of God. And see, as far as I'm concerned, God should remain with government, but the government worships a different God. Y'all need to know this. And all you people talking about you Christian, and I see some people who was watching. I says, man, you can eat pork, not chicken. They have an issue with that. See, y'all been so brainwashed. I need the vitamins. I'm a big guy still. I'm gonna get it twisted. And I still fast, remember? So what was it, 12, 16 hours? Anyway, after I eat these oranges and take my liquid magnesium and my liquid zinc, I won't eat until about 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow. Believe me, I just won't. Only thing, if I feel let's not get off topic. If I feel my blood spike, then I'll go ahead and I'll take some water and some flax, maybe a tablespoon of cinnamon, and heat it up and drink that down. And be good. You know what I'm saying? Bring the sugar spike, the insulin. When you fast, your insulin goes up. Just know that your body is doing a switch over, and it's always like that. You can feel your heart beating a little rapidly. It's all right to get down, do some push-ups, some sit-ups, go walk for about a half an hour. I've done it at 3 o'clock in the morning. Got up and be like, oh man, I don't want to take that pill, and go and walk. And just walk. I think I may have walked longer than an hour. The sun coming up and I'm still walking. You know what I'm saying? So we got them. They're doing a lot of very damaging things, but I'm going to get into reading because I got to run out. I wasn't supposed to be going nowhere. I got to run out. All right. I appreciate everybody that comes in. I really do. I appreciate you guys. And I'm not big on talking politics. A lot of y'all know I don't use the term prepper, but I think this evening I'm gonna discuss a few things. A lot of y'all know, and I've shared this with some of you, and I know you haven't bought it. It's expensive, I know. But if you don't get one of these, I'm waiting on some more filters to come in to have enough to last. If you don't get one of these, if you don't train yourself to be able to adapt to being hungry and seeing how far you can move without pushing yourself and get the different filters. I got some more down there, but I want plenty more. One of these is for, smoke and all that kind of stuff, electric fires, and the other one's chemical. All right? This is Niosh, and it's 3 M's, you know what I'm saying? And you need to know what they're all about. So I ordered some more of these. This is, bacteria, air, water, and all that. And this is chemical. Smoke, chemical. Chemicals more in lieu of the smoke as well, because you have electrical fires. But even though it doesn't seem like it, metal and magnesium and all that kind of stuff, that's a chemical reaction. Most smoke is a chemical reaction. This is the bacteria, air, water, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Airborne stuff. So we know chemicals are airborne as well, but strictly. So it's good, and these last for a while. Yet you need to have cartridge refills to change one out at a time, and to be able to know how to do it. So that's why I said I'll probably be shaving here soon. The way things are going, you had a couple more derailments, right? Chemicals. So this afternoon, I'm gonna speak on some of that. I want to do a little more research because I don't follow the news. I'm very angst and against the media because it's booming, death and gloom. It's never about change. It's never about those standing up, going, "What's going on here?" As some of the old reporters used to do. And the CIA and them, they knew it. The deep state individuals, for those who want to utilize that, and I mean deep state, that means inoculated. They didn't want that because it would bring confliction. Today it's mediated by the same group to cause division instead of unification. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into an original history of ancient America. I was going to read today Abraham Africanus I's the last 5 poetries that allude to the whole story. And I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna hold on to that because I've got plenty of books on poetry. So if you're in here, poetry is my, school performing arts. I mean, that's Gregory. I mean, that poetry is my thing. So we're gonna go ahead and just get a couple of chapters in of each book. Arthur Kessler and the Pale Horse, and then later on, we'll do DNA of the Gods and all that tomorrow. Later on, I might do an open mic to have the discussion about what's going on in the world, because some of you are probably more involved or in tune to what's happening as far as the news and everything like that. I just can't do that stuff. I could talk 2A all day, which is channel still about that. I could talk about the brewing and the federal government is going against these libertards, pushing and telling them, no, we made our decision, and how Arizona signed into law. We're not going to have no more of that stuff with our children. You calling them boy or girl? I mean, him, she, furries or all that crap. That's a boy and that's a girl. Now, the family decides to put the boy or the girl through all that excruciating pain. To see a lot of older people now are just so angry at the decisions of family and even at themselves. Some of them ain't even going to live that long because of the decisions they made because of these things that are going on. I don't want to get into medical misinformation or anything like that, but I know how to bring up the videos up on StreamYard and all that. I just haven't. I know people might get offended when I say gimmicky. I'm just not gimmicky. Gimmicky is not a bad thing. I'm gimmicky as far as certain things, but I also want to go to the range, and I got to sight my rifle, my Mic-Mac in, and I want to make sure my other one is still well sighted in. So I've got some Loctite blue. Don't use red, because then you got a red Loctite stuff down. Blue, you can break that. White Loctite, you can use that. That's more cordial. But I'm gonna throw some blue Loctite once I get it sighted into the right. You know what I'm saying? And keep those locked in how they should be, no matter dropped or whatever. So it doesn't take me a whole bunch of rounds. Trust me, y'all. It doesn't take me. It doesn't. Unless there is something else wrong. One day, Westside and Rondo and Drummond and his son, I couldn't sight in my. Well, I could, and I was doing well, but what I wasn't paying attention to, the whole thing had come loose. So I'm plinking, but at the same time, I'm missing. I'm like, hey. And I think I went through a mag. And I was like, it don't take me no 30 rounds to sight a rifle, and it takes me 3 or 4 rounds. I've done it for many people. People have offered to pay me, but Red, can you sight this rifle in? And literally come with 10 rounds, knowing it only takes me a few. No, you don't have to pay me, bro. I got you. And I got some Loctite. I sight the rifles in. I mean, I have a lot of people who know because they've seen me do it. So I'm gonna go and sight my rifles in. I ain't worried about my big toe and being sneakers. I ain't running and doing no drills or anything like that. Just sight the rifle in and get out of there and get on home. So let's get into the reading. Like I said, this evening I may do that. And we have a conversation about a lot of things that are going on. And let's do it. I'll address, if I set it up, and I go downstairs and set it up, I will address the prelims and how we should carry ourselves in that podcast. Because I believe it's very, very important. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be a good thing. I think the topic tonight, because it's not the topics that I want to talk about. The topics I want to talk about, there's about 12. Woo, child. But this right here, talking about preparation, talking about what have you done? What have you done with your hard-earned fiat, your worthless fiat? What have you done to mitigate other things? So I don't want to hear, well, I'm just going to kick indoors and this, that. No, you end up dead. I don't care who you are. I've seen the biggest, baddest spec up guy. Just don't even do that. I got some ring pale-skin buddies who believe they're just going to take it from everybody else. That may work for the short time. Maybe a 1% may be successful with it, depending on what happens, because there's a lot of people on this soil. But we'll get into that conversation. And everybody, I want you to pull up some information based on when we traveled the world. Everybody knew when we were in the land. Everybody knew the Navy was here, or the Air Force, or the Army, and the Marine Corps was here. Here, you don't know what military is here. The media don't say crap. Why? Maybe we'll have that. We'll address that this evening on that podcast. All right. So let's get into this reading. So we're going to go on George Jones, An Original History of Ancient History. I don't want to be in battle. Let's take you down to, there we go. Afrobeats, I love it. I'm glad somebody watched and they opened their little goofy big young mouth and said something. Yeah, dummy, didn't even know that it was created by a Nigerian. People are dumb. And the thing I was let fall on this interview, I'm about ready to block him because he's just so liberal and so ghettoish and don't even get the fact of elevation. Anyway, chapter 2, Hebrew analogies with the tribes of the north, contrasted with the natives of Mexican America. Circumcision, scalping, its great antiquity. See, a lot of people don't know that the Hebraic people scalped Mohawks. They always believed in the lie that the French scalped us. We wore a mohawk to invite them to fight because of our tradition of scalping them. To let the others know you don't come, and we hang the scalps to let them know this is righteous soil. And the scalp means to cleanse the head. Now, they called us redneck, meaning that they would cut our throat and we would bleed red, or red skin. The Francois would say we made those niggas bleed red, or those Indians, and that's where red skin came from. It ain't come from because you a little lighter from the neck. That's just the stupidest thing. Anytime I heard somebody say that, I was like, yeah, you don't know real history. Anyway, the crucifixion, not known to the natives of the North, the traditional knowledge of the deluge, their practice of the laws of Moses, the conclusive proofs of the two races, let me read it correctly. The crucifixion antiquity, wait a minute, excuse me. Circumcision, scalping is great antiquity. Space, the crucifixion not known to the natives of the north. Every time I see one of y'all walking around with the crucifix, I'm like, you goofy. Anyway, space, the traditional knowledge of the deluge, we knew of the flood. Space, the practices of the laws of Moshe. Space, the conclusive proofs of the two races. Didn't I say Noah's Ark was built of gopher wood? The only place gopher wood grew was all in North America. The formation of a new Epochian table for the history of ancient America. Space, the announcement of the historical theory and the first epoch. Journeys and travels and all that. The Hebrew analogies now claim investigation, semicolon, and as woman is first in the affections and in memory, she claims by right upon this as upon all occasions the natural procedure. Not some mother sucker in a cloak in some place so they can give you papers to own your children. Women have become weak. Thank goodness many are doing it, but they're doing it on the guise of African American, these old wayward, foolish people. Because I would love to meet Mr. Umar Johnson. I would love to meet him. Sardanetta. I want to go back to New York just to be like, yo, and all the old team be like, yo, Red. I'm like, yeah, hey man, set up a date, man. I don't care what theater, whatever. Tell a nigga we're gonna put a ring up, put the gloves on. I definitely would. The northern mother, after child, the punk wouldn't meet me, trust me. The northern mother, after childbirth, is secluded for a given number of days, varying according to the sex of the newborn infant. And the men weren't there, it was the sisters all around her. She usually go out to a certain place established to birth this child and keep the placenta connected. Now where these sons of bastards can disconnect it and clamp it and all this stuff and then take it off so they can run tests and antibiotics and all that other stuff and do the perversions that most of our people become dumb to. Varying according to the sex of the newborn, let's get out, for a given number of days, varying according to the sex of the newborn infant. By the law of Moshe, the mother's purification was to last 40 days for a male and 80 days for a female child. Purification. All the other seclusions are as strict as when the wife becomes a mother. When a wife becomes a widow and is childless, her husband's brother marries her. These were essential laws of the Hebraic way, and especially the latter, that a name should not be lost in Israel. I had many wives. So don't let this goofy twist you up. As a mother, she considers it a religious duty. And was religions there or not? Remember what I read in the beginning. No, a lot of Masonic interpolation going on here, okay? The child should receive its nourishment from the breast that gave it life, and such is the feeling in the performance of this maternal duty, that she often nurses her offspring until it attains 3 or 4 years of age. From this fact, an important problem is solved. The apparent tardiness in the racial increase of the Aborigines of the North. For it is the rule in nature's female code. And in parentheses it states, and should there be an exception, it only proves the rule, and which is order. We know what their rules mean. It means to govern and conquer a people, silent weapon for a silent war. That while that affection continues from the fond practice of the mother, no other shall arise to destroy that which already exists. But as that ceases and the firstborn is put away, nature, jealous of her supremacy, again bestows upon the mother a second joy, and so continues in her undeviating course. There is also a direct physical analogy between the northern mothers and those of ancient Israel. If that what you think it was right here, the dummies. You know, they got to allude to something. If there were not, the negative might be brought against this theory. We therefore take advantage of the affirmative. The only cause of Pharaoh's political action against the Hebrews was that from the rapid ratio in which they multiplied. You take one man and 10 wives, and he impregnates 10 wives, and in 1 year you have what? How many children? And the next year, how many children? And in a 10-year period, you have how many children in one man and 10 wives? And everybody works together. And as they grow successfully and rapidly, what is accomplished in a generation? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That if one falls, you have one younger and stronger to take his or her place quickly. There is also a direct physical analogy between the northern mothers and those of ancient Israel. If there were not, the negative might be brought against this theory, which they can't bring. We therefore take advantage of the affirmative. The only cause of Pharaoh's political action against the Hebrews was that from the rapid ratio in which they multiplied, they would eventually rebel and with or without the assistance of any other nation entirely subdue Egypt. The ease of childbirth by the Hebrew mother is distinctly stated in Holy Writ. In contrast to the dangerous sufferings of the Egyptian parent, from which fact may be gathered the cause of the gradual but certain increase of the Israelites over the Egyptian population. The same peculiar facility of childbirth is one of the chief characteristics of the northern female. And how could they subjugate our people? By changing their mindset. And if they change their mindset, they create what? A new beast, but not an individual. Not a light, not a saber, but a tumbleweed. And so many of our people move around today in Jannah, in the darkness. For in the Rocky Mountains, while journeying in cavalcade and being taken in travel, the mother will leave her companions alone, and within an hour will remount her horse and overtake her associates, with the newborn infant in her arm. The cause why the population of the Aborigines of the North is not in ratio with the ancient Hebrews has already been alluded to, in reference to the mother's belief and practice of extended maternal duty and fondness. If, as we believe, the great ancestress of these northern women were Leah and Rachel, the tender-eyed, the beautiful and well-favored, then have their daughters on the western continent lost no features of the mothers of Israel. For they might, excuse me, they might hang their harps upon the willows of their fate as emblems of Jerusalem's children in captivity, and feel no shame in comparison of sorrow, grace, or beauty. The strength is in the truth of knowledge, for it bears witness on itself. They don't need some hypocrite and some idiot talking about some fake ass Jesus over here and all that other shit. Bear your cross and all that foolishness. The northern Aborigines have a traditional knowledge of the deluge and the dove of peace, which to them, under the name of the medicine or mystery bird, is sacred from the arrow of the hunter. They have their ark of covenant, in which is deposited some mystery, seen only by the priests of the tribe. Seen only by the priests of the tribe, the Ark of the Covenant. And they got y'all Nova and History Channel, all these felonious bastard channels by bastard individuals. Got y'all looking all over in other countries and everything. It is said to be a shell and supposed to give out oracular sound. Oracular sounds, like oracle, but oracular sounds, vibrations, frequencies. And this is an analogy to the book of the laws placed in the Ark of Covenant of Moshe, preceding his death on Mount Nebo, the oracular wisdom of which has guided civilization to this day. The ark is never suffered to touch the earth, but is always raised on a stand of wood or stone. It is invariably carried by a tribe when they march to battle on a wood. How many of our people would climb up and give up the ghosts, and they would be left up there for a period of time, and then the bones gathered and carried, never to touch the ground. Frequencies returned back to frequencies. I don't know. What do you think? A shell of what was. A similitude is here to Joshua at the siege of Jericho. When it is in their peaceful encampment, it is surrounded by 12 stones, indicative of the original number of the tribes of the ancestors. Space. This is strictly an analogy with the 12 statues. In parentheses, it states, probably rude blocks of stone, and erected by Moshe around the altar of the covenant to personify the 12 tribes of Israel. Joshua also, after the passage of the Jordan, erected 12 stones in his encampment at Gilgal, and the same number in the river at the place of the passage. They select their medicine men, for example, priests or prophets, from among, in parentheses, and from among a portion of the tribe, not warriors. Here is the custom of the Levites, or descendants of Aaron, being in the sacred office of priesthood, for which the Israelites, they were not to be taken from the ranks of the soldiery. These Aborigines dwell in booths, as when brought out of the land of Egypt, for they are still wanderers. We know that's Levi 23 or something like that. Anyway, they offer a flesh or burnt offering from the chase, which is first cast into the flames before even a starving family may eat. They have their corn and harvest feast also, one in observance of every new moon, another in festivity of the first fruits, and the great feast in direct analogy with the Hebrew Passover, even to the blood being stained upon the post of lentils, and the mingling of the most bitters. Then their fastings and purifications are practices with the greatest severity. That means you don't make yourself look like it. You would never know. Warriors still gonna do warrior shit. Medicine man still gonna prophesize and do medicine shit. The women are gonna still be powerful and do womanly shit. You hear that? Jump off the horse when everybody's in movement, birth a baby, jump back on it, catch back up to them until they're in the place where she needs to go ahead and nourish that baby to walk off. That's power. No, women have babies now, lay there with a morphine drip, chemicals all in their body, eating crap that's been synthetically and processed, and don't know why. The breastplate or ornament worn by the religious prophets. Excuse me. Yeah, I blew my nose. Make sure. The breastplate or ornament worn by the prophets, I hate that word religious, containing 12 shells or stones of value, is in direct imitation of the ancient pectoral worn by the Hebrew high priest. So it's not imitation. You see the words they use.
West Side Cooler.
Westside, you already came. You know I'm live, bro. Come on, man. How's Westside calling me? Wasn't he just in the chat? Anyway, check this out. Containing 12 shells of stones, the ancient pectoral worn by the Hebrew high priest, and which contain 12 precious stones, inscribed with the names of all the 12 original tribes of Israel. They have their cities of refuge, or huts of safety, where the most deadly foe dare not enter for his victim. Even where the most deadly foe dare not enter for his victim. They never violate a female captive, and upon the Hebrew principle, the Hebraicism, I hate that principle, so all these words they use, that their blood shall not be contaminated by interunion. Interunion. This has been strictly followed in all their wars with the Europeans. So yeah, I know y'all say, wait, didn't you say? No, listen to me. I told y'all that we need segregation, but you didn't listen. I told y'all I need y'all to come out here so I can teach you some things, and you didn't come. And in those that cool, we go shooting, everybody's ready to run off. I need a group of people, a fire built to show y'all, but y'all, you're not your ancestors. And yet you're always talking about to your ancestors. And here's somebody wanting to show, but no, it was a guru or one of these motherfuckers in mainstream or one of these Hollywood weirdos or people that got 1 million, 2 million followers. You run over there, wouldn't you? Or you'd be watching and sharing the goofy shit to me like I need to see that. Because y'all are still complex and confused. They have the cities of refuge, and we know that. Anyway, they also reject the savage practices of civilization upon the lofty principle of manly virtue. The medicine bag or pouch is carried by every member of the tribe. Space. It is suspended to a bed belt, which crosses the breast by passing over the left shoulder and hangs on the right side. It contains, as they say and believe, preservatives to keep them from sickness or defeat. These are essentially the phylacteries referred to by the Savior and previously condemned by Moshe. For the word phylactery is derived from the Greek tongue and denotes a preservative. And in the time of Moshe, they were worn by his people in great excess. And so by the northern native, most Czech Aborigine, most Moshe check the excessive use of the preservatives and change the custom. For by his command, the priesthood alone wore the phylactery, which was at last a frontlet of parchment for the forehead, upon which was written an extract from the laws, that those that run might read. That those that run might read. And then the absence of all idols or symbolical devices, and the worship of the one creator, the great spirit. I have no problem with that word. I say just creation or creator. There's never pronouncing the name. Listen, the great spirit there, never pronouncing the name. But in syllables, and those separated by long ceremonies, thus truly fulfilling the Hebraic law. Thou shalt not take the name of the Creator, thy spirit, in vain. I can't stand to use Lord God. This Masonic shit as redirection of energy. I can't stand them. And I hope he's right where he needs to be at, this motherfucker, like the rest of them. Where these sons of bitches will be. Stupidest. Anyway, excuse my language. The name with them sounds as if written. The name with them sounds as if written, Jehovah, and is only pronounced by the Aaron of the tribe. In their hymns of rejoicing, the word Hallelujah is distinctly uttered, but it's not pronounced like that. Oh my goodness. To the foregoing analogies is to be added the general and firm belief in the immortality of the soul. But beyond all this, as proof of their origin, is the practice of the great covenant between the Almighty Father and the patriarch Abraham, circumcision. And it does not exist, as in parts of Egypt and the Asiatic nations, for the purpose of supposed help. Told you. In parentheses, in which belief it was practiced in ancient Egypt by both sexes, but as a religious custom handed down from time immemorial. The custom now is not general, but it does exist, and we must be understood as referring back at least 200 years in our review to the period of the Pilgrim Fathers, when fake-ass pilgrims, when the northern Aborigines numbered 15 millions. Now they scarcely number 2.5 millions. All the customs, however, noticed are practiced at the present period by the uncontrolled Aboriginal. If all other evidences, because you know they had to be written in to keep alive, when nobody would have came in the 1900s, were not received, that of circumcision as a religious ceremony, I hate that word, must be viewed by the most skeptical as direct proof of identity between the northern Aborigines and the ancient Hebrew. The custom we have written is not general. It is only found in the more settled tribes. This even supports our belief, for in this very fact is traced again the precedents ordained by Moshe. For circumcision was discontinued by the great lawgiver for 40 years. During his journey with his followers through the wilderness, the custom was reestablished by Joshua. See? Listen. May not be innovation by Moshe in the covenanted custom be limited by these descendants. Are they not still wanderers in the wilderness in the western, as their ancestors were in the eastern hemisphere? The affirmative has existed for ages, and it even now continues. They have not yet returned to Jerusalem. We're going to tell some truth, but we're going to keep you void of the fact of why we abandoned the cities. War has a way of manipulating and changing, especially when you can hear a voice and you obey it, or you listen to it. Not obey, but you listen and adhere. One fact is of great importance in proof of their great antiquity. They have no knowledge or tradition in the north of the life or crucifixion of Christ. Yet they have knowledge of the deluge and actually practice the laws of Moshe. Again, we must repeat that we are writing of these aborigines as they were at the time of European colonization. The above singular fact enables us at once to place them in a chronological position. It must be after Moshe, but before the Savior. But another fact brings their circle of time still narrower. They have no tradition of the destruction of the first temple of Jerusalem. This event occurred 588 years before so-called Christ. It must therefore be an anterior to that national calamity that they trace their origin of this hereafter, when in the next volume the history of the Israelites will be given. But even now, justice to this race compels us to offer a few words in their defense as a people for being already sufficiently shown, which is shown, spelled is with an E, shown. Excuse me. I'm going to get through this part right here. All right, if you don't mind. Shown that, dang it, man. Find more papers. What is papers will cut you? That they are the great Hebrew family. They may fall in the estimation of some readers upon religious principles. It has been shown that they have no traditions of the crucifixion or of the desolation of the temple. Is there no sentiment in the mind of the Christian reader as the first face is unfolded, other than that of historical data? Upon a moment's thought, it must be apparent that the blood of Christ cannot be upon them or their children. No, we don't need that fraud. See, this is what we're talking about. Their ancestors never shouted in the streets of Jerusalem, "Crucify him, crucify him." The aborigines of the north are Israelites and of the house of Jeroboam. I can't pronounce that freaking name right now. Not Levi, not Jews, i.e., of the house of Judah. A distinction of all importance, as the pages of the subsequent volume will prove. The custom of scalping cannot be said with truth to be original with the northern natives. It has, however, been so asserted as proof that they are more modern as a people than this theory would establish. But the declaration, more modern, melts into thin air from the fact that both Herodotus and Polybius mention scalping as being practiced among the most ancient nations of the world. The assertion, therefore, has only brought forward its refutation. Scalping was introduced originally by the ancients for the express purposes of counting and recording the number of the foe slain in battle, and especially was then custom practiced by the Scythians. Who remembers reading in Arthur Kessler about the Scythians? This is established upon the authority of the accurate Herodotus, for the same reason as the custom followed by the aborigines of the north. To number the slain of the enemy, again, Scythia was the ancient name of the country now known by the modern name of Tartary. Hello! This is important, as will be shown in the next volume in tracing the encampments of the Israelites after their escape from captivity. Captivity from what? Not who. For in the Scythian Tartary, they will be found, and consequently the custom may have been derived from their own remote ancestors who obtained it from the Scythians. And as we know, this idiot, we had great cities that rivaled all the lands outside of ours. War is a mother when you don't own nothing but you're great in building and who you are. The custom with both was, and in the north still is, only for a trophy of the dead, and therefore the scalp is never taken from a living enemy. Polybius, however, has a draconian record. Polybius, that upon the occasion of Gisco, the Carthaginian, being made prisoner together with 700 of his soldiers, they were all scalped alive by the rebel mercenaries under Spondius. The ancients also wore the long scalp locks as the flowing hair to their rude helmets and weapons. The natives of the north do the same as records of their personal victories. We wore their scalps, hence the fake straight hair, Native Americans. Mohawks, nobody with straight hair was wearing a damn mohawk, you imbeciles. This subject has been dwelt upon in order to prove its great antiquity. We may here remark that the mutilation of the dead for the purpose of numbering was nearly a general practice among all the ancients. The Scythian, it has been shown, took the scalp and the hair lock. But the Assyrian and the Egyptian had another method. By the number of ears sent to the king or general, this is glanced at in Ezekiel 23. But when imposition was practiced by the soldiers of the latter nation, in parentheses it states, after a general rapine, not ing, but it's the same thing, and massacre, and by sending home the ears of their female victims in order to increase their reward upon the supposition that they had been taken from men. An original custom of recording the slain warriors was then introduced to check the imposition for proving the sex of the fallen. The latter proof of victory was a condition from David to Saul for obtaining the daughter of the latter in marriage. 1 Samuel 20, 28, something, 25, 27, for those who want to go and read that. The Hebrew, therefore, followed the custom from the Egyptian who practiced it previous to David's victory over the Philistines, which was in the year of his marriage, 1063. 1063 BC. It is before probable that a knowledge of this Egyptian custom may have been obtained by the Hebrews during their bondage in that country. The Exodus took place in 1491 BC. Those were years. Anyway, the remote antiquity of these repulsive customs are therefore firmly established. Scalping is one of them, and is and ever has been practiced in Northern America while upon the subject of war, and its worst horror, raping, it may be here mentioned again, and to the eternal honor of the Northern Aborigines, and as a stern reproof of the wars of civilization. Question mark in parentheses. Let me make sure we're not going into, we're not going to listen to all that because that's where it gets into some more crazy stuff there. Okay, we don't do that. All right, you can't hear it anyway, and I don't want to hear it because you know these little things will be all upset and stuff. Anyway, excuse me. That they never. Anyway, question mark in parentheses. That they have never been known to violate a female captive among their own race, upon the principle that it placed shame upon the warrior's glory. This noble manhood has also extended the same mercy to the white female prisoner. As to those of their own color, is there not the... Listen, you pale skins running around talking about you fucking Indian, straight-haired motherfucker. Anyway, this noble manhood, check it out, a warrior's glory. This noble manhood has also extended the same mercy to the white female prisoner. As to those of their own color, is there not the ancient Hebrew even in this? And is not their national abhorrence of interunion with any people but their own traceable in this custom? They also, upon the same principle, would not marry or cohabit with the pale-faced race, or with any not of their own blood. We write of the Aborigines as they were, and of the mass. There may be on the frontiers some solitary exceptions after their acquaintance with the Anglo-Saxon race, but oftener among the women than the men. to attempt to steal identity, to proclaim and claim. But this arises not from less virtue than in the opposite sex, but and with shame be it written from the seduction, treachery, and desertion by the European. Most truly might a chieftain reply to a missionary who endeavored to convert a tribe, teach us what? They were questioned. My son has been murdered, my daughter ravished by the white man. Learn first yourselves to obey the mandates of humanity and prove that we do not practice them. Then come among us to preach or teach, and we will receive you with open arms. When shall we meet again upon this condition? On earth, white man, never. So, what is going on? The marriage of the Virginia, you got to remember now, it's 1843, so you know the word white. You know when it was created and what it was used for. Fundamentally, that is not what was said. This is this idiot's writing. He was a Mason. He's a Mason. You know, whatever degree you want to call it, snake and what you call it, yeah. Look him up. The marriage of the Virginian Aboriginal Pocahontas was after her baptism in the Christian faith and consequently cannot be brought to bear against the preceding remarks. Many other religious customs and ceremonies exist of a minor character, but they want y'all to believe that Pocahontas was some pale-skinned bitch. That's not to negate the hate. I am telling you, as far as the phenomena of the creature that they've created, that piece of shit is a lie. And so I mean what I say. But enough has been brought forward in this volume to propose these, as we believe, unanswerable questions. If they are not of the lost tribes of Israel, who are they? What nation of ancient history can claim and identify those customs and observances as their own, if not the Hebrew? And Pocahontas, she has another name, y'all. She was kidnapped, people. I wish people would stop that. And in that picture y'all see with the, and all dolled up with that little pels, no. It's not even the one they had when I saw the book over in Germany. When I was talking about, wasn't she in England? They was like, yeah, but the book went around. She was as dark as fucking midnight. And she died young because she was murdered, poisoned. Then in regard to the physique of the race, they possess the essential characteristics of the ancient Hebrew in regard of physiognomy. The broad and elevated forehead, the aquiline nose, the high cheekbone, brilliant red countenance, and teeth pure as ivory, black hair and dark and heavy eyebrow, the sunken but brilliant eye, like a diamond within a ring of pearl, and both deep set beneath a brow of ebony. Their figures in youth, from their mother's care in parentheses, are models for the Apollo, and should the statue be lost, in parentheses it states, and with it all casts and engravings. And it could be restored from a living archer, for the attitude of the sun god is daily assumed by them from the impulse of nature, when they wing their arrows at the pythons of the chase. The reader must not imagine that our enthusiasm upon the subject has betrayed us into the language of poetic rhapsody, for we have the authority, apart from our own experience in parentheses, of Benjamin West, who, when he first arrived at Rome to commence his studies, was regarded as a savage from the New World. Benjamin West. In order to surprise him, the statue of Apollo was shown to him with great ceremony by the Sabines, who expected that he would be overwhelmed with wonder. His simple remark was, "Why? It is a model from a young North American Indian." It was the highest compliment that could have been given to the grace and dignity of the statue. The color of the ancient Israelite must not be judged by that of the modern Jew for various climates. Local circumstances and confined habitations have given the latter a dark, heavy, swarthy countenance. And I'm going to stop right the fuck there. These no eyebrow having motherfuckers getting their shit tattooed on them. And we grew beards, motherfuckers. And Ivory, do y'all know that when he said that, do you know what it's a testament to? Do you know what polished ivory looks like compared to rooted ivory? Teeth always have a hint of yellow to them because it's natural, like the nails and everything. Though there's a white. Now it depends on how your liver and kidneys and all that are functioning. Whether you have white lines, this, that, and the other, and a little circle there, it loses other things. Pre-diabetic, blah, blah, blah. But you see these people walking around with these banging ass white teeth. That is not a truth. I just want to let you know, but we're going to get deep. Now, I'm going to have to run out, y'all. I've been reading for a minute now, and we're going to come back to read these. And then Westside said he's about to go live. Didn't he come over here? You see I'm live, right? Westside, where you at, brother? How you going to come over here and call me? Oh, brother. Anyway, I just got a message saying he's going to go live soon, so I'll check with him. But I got to run out. And which call Bear hit me up too. I love it. So I'm gonna run out so I can get back, get on Westside's live, but I want to get that reading in. It's the most important thing because we can talk about the world, but if you guys aren't aware of many truths that are going on and taking place, and see, YouTube right now, those individuals are perverse that work for the staff or whatever. The AI is even programmed to do the dumb things they do because they don't know no better. It ain't really all that bright and intelligent. And instead of them being mindful, well, they curse themselves. I don't care. Like I said, I know how it ends. I know how it can end. 45 minutes. Okay. Yeah, you called me, man. I was like, you saw I was live, bro. What's going on, fam? I'm going to run out real quick because I got to get my boy his treats. And again, like I said, some people sit there and they look. I appreciate the $5 or anything like that. I appreciate it. And no, I know the vitamin C. That's so good. I hate taking a pill. Oh, I see you, brother. Oh, it gets deeper because I went ahead. I went farther ahead, bro. I went real far ahead, man. And I was like, when I read this, I'm gonna read till I get to a certain part and stop. And y'all heard. So all these Mongols, they don't know that they also come from the line of Yaphet. You know that who was the progenitor of the Ashkenaz? But he had how many sons and daughters? See, this is what people forget. The thing is, they have put themselves in a very, very terrible, awkward position. I'm not into religion. Masons talk that goofy stuff because they, in truth, worship their God. And that's whatever they want to call them. And not all the ones in the very top knowing. The ones in the bottom, they got all kinds of different things they believe. And how you think they can come to the point where they want to say one world religion? It's about the evils. It has the darkness. It has nothing to do with light and water. Everything they do goes against it. But what do? They think they can be like Pilate and wash their hands clean because they mitigated amongst y'all to be so divisive and so separated and so perverse. Am I being clear in expressing and explaining this? I told you. King James came, he was running, he was being murdered, murdered. And he was here for 5 to 6 years. In the great buildings and temples and everything. Healing. And he took all our writings down. Some of my people said that it was betrayal. But they murdered him when he got back. Why do you think he was killing the people around him? He was so keen. He knew what was happening. There were all people who would warn him in dreams. And he would dispatch them, the women and the men. Until he learned something when he came here in those 5 to 6 years, in the 1500s. When he left, they murdered him, dead and stinking, and left him in there for a week at least, dead and bloated, as the song says. And they gathered up all the information they could, but he hid some stuff amongst certain people who returned here. These idiots will never know it. Long before all this surveillance and crap, me talking about it ain't going to change nothing. all of the idiots that come on the soil, they're training out here, and all the dumb little idiots who are staying and got all this, and I could run for 30 miles and jump over 20 feet. That don't mean nothing. You better believe me when I'm telling you this. There's darkness all around. But you got to be the light in the darkness. Let me go out and do what I got to do and get back. Appreciate y'all. Shout out real quick, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. What's I saying? You go on. I have to catch you live when I get back. I'm not going to do it while I'm driving, brother. All right. Shout outs. Be as quick as I can. Sorry to hit you. Kia Warren. What's cracking? APJR. Peace. What's going on, beloved? Rondo. Yeah, that was it. John Louis Zama. Louis Gazama. I always just call him friggin' John. Yeah, Alberto. That was it. Hey, Evelyn Smiley, aka American Neji. What's cracking? What's going on? I appreciate everybody that subscribe. I hope that everybody makes sure they do the rolling notification and everything. Excuse me, I got the camera on this side. And just make sure it's always check. Come back and check it, because you know I'm gonna keep dropping tea. Yeah, that's for sure. They're trying to usher in utopia, and they are just desensitizing they're messing the children up. All that West Side, I got you, brother. This shit. Yeah, I'm gonna shave. Yes, yes. Jersey style. Fuck Jersey. This is our land. This is our great continent. You know what I mean, though. Hey, Mikey L. Salute. What's going on, family? I shoot my. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that come in, man. I respect, man, love. Scalp that money. All right, so yeah, cool. All right, yeah. What's up? I'm gonna go out here, grab it. It's only one thing. I'm not buying. I don't have to buy nothing else, and I'm gonna come right on back. I got to get my bison and all that cooked for tomorrow with the mushrooms, the onions. Somebody said, don't cook the onions and the mushrooms. Just get the bison run. I got my ghee. This is only until, was it Tuesday? And then it's back to my vegan diet. I got to do this. Surprisingly, I'm losing more weight eating the friggin' meat once a day that I'm eating. It's and the 4 eggs that I ate the first 2 days. Man, you can't make this up. Man, I ain't no, and the sugar spike only comes from when I have my little juice I was making. It's like, but also because when you're fasting, it just happens. But afterwards, when you settle down, it just goes away. I mean, you'd be like, you don't want to think, and I don't partake in, well, some people said me eating the dark chocolate I eat. Man, I don't eat cocoa alkaline. I don't eat that kind of chocolate. The chocolate I eat is just straight up dark. You can get 75, 72, you can get 80, you can get it. Now, if you get it with caramel, it depends on what the caramel's made with. Most people say, but when it's caramel, oh man, shut up. I can't stand people that don't know nothing. Let me see here real quick so I can get out of here. Wow. This is just unsweetened cocoa chocolate butter. That's it. Now, soy lecithin is not soy, people. Soy lecithin is something Bruce Lee used when he used to make his juices with raw beef or bison. He used to do soy lecithin. Well, anyway, I got the ingredients to his that helped this flexibility and everything. And his wife made a joke about I used to fuck her, have sex with her nonstop. So it's not what you think. So yeah, there's no cocoa alkaline. Now, Rembrandt and all that have that cocoa alkaline. You want to stay away from that, people. You don't want to partake in that. All right? All right, I'll holler at y'all later.